Stock market starting the week with gains as the S&P 500 finished at a record close. The Dow Jones Industrial and NASDAQ also closed higher. It came after sell-offs earlier in the day following Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell's announcement that the Justice Department is investigating his past congressional testimony. Prosecutors are looking into what he told lawmakers last summer about the central bank's renovations. North Carolina Republican lawmaker is putting himself in the middle of the fight between Powell and the Trump administration. Senator Thom Tillis says he won't vote to confirm any Fed nominees after the DOJ's confirmation of an investigation. As chief political correspondent Andy Weber reports, Tillis is accusing the White House of attempting to take over the Fed.
No one, certainly not the chair of the Federal Reserve, is above the law. But this unprecedented action should be seen in the broader context of the administration's threats and ongoing pressure.
Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, the nation's top banker and official charged with setting the country's interest rates, took to social media this weekend after the Justice Department apparently launched a probe directed at him. Powell says he was told it dealt with a high-priced planned renovation of Federal Reserve office space. But in that same video, Powell argues that it was not the Trump administration's true motive.
The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president.
North Carolina Republican Senator Thom Tillis, who's been critical of the administration in recent weeks, is siding with Powell. Tillis writes he will not support any Trump nominees to the Federal Reserve Board, arguing presidential advisors are, quote, actively pushing to end the independence of the Federal Reserve.
The president has every right to criticize the Fed chair. He has a First Amendment right, just like all of you do.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt responded to Powell's allegations Monday. She insists the White House had no influence on DOJ's decision to investigate.
The president's made it quite clear is Jerome Powell is bad at his job. As for whether or not Jerome Powell is a criminal, that's an answer the Department of Justice is going to have to find out.
Whatever comes of the investigation, if the president does want to replace Powell, he simply can wait him out, as Powell's current term as chair of the Federal Reserve is set to expire in May. Andy Weber, Queen City News.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.